As schools have reopened in Columbus mid-pandemic, school leadership has been faced with unprecedented challenges. Today on City Chat, one school in particular, Cristo Rey Columbus High School, wasted no time in meticulously planning for how to safely move from an all-virtual mode into a hybrid model. Here with me today are Ryan Pettit and Patrick Hickman, co-principals, here to discuss all the details behind the scenes of how their schools have chosen to reopen safely. Ryan and Patrick, thank you so much for coming on to City Chat today.
Thanks for having us.
Great to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to learn about Cristo Rey Columbus. It's you guys are paving the way for other high schools, and we're just so curious about how you guys are doing it. Patrick, this question is for you. Cristo Rey Columbus High School, it's a unique school in itself and in the Columbus community. Can you tell us what your school is all about?
Yeah, so Cristo Rey Columbus High School is a small private school, a Catholic private school in downtown. We're next to the main branch of the Columbus Library near the Topiary Park, and we're actually in a historic building. Used to be the previously was the Ohio School for the Deaf. So we're a 9 through 12 high school, and we are part of the Cristo Rey Network, which is a network of schools, about 40 other schools across the country. And we follow their model for education. Our school is founded on 5 pillars to kind of help guide our decisions and our support, how we support students in our community. And those are academic excellence, service, professionalism, spirituality, and self-reliance. And that professionalism piece, one of the ways that plays out in our school is with our professional work study program. And that's one of the kind of the key factors of our school that makes us a lot different than other schools in the area. So our students once a week go to a job site where they work once a week to gain job skills and work experience, and also mentorship, because their supervisor at a business in the Columbus area works with them on their work day. And that one work day a week is part of their kind of holistic education experience that runs alongside them getting a college prep education.
That's really awesome. Do you guys get a lot of good feedback from that?
Yeah, go ahead.
From the program, the work study program?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have business partners all over Columbus that partner with Cristo Rey, and we are so thankful for them because they bring such a richness to our students' education. Really holistically, our students, they learn so much, and the business partners are so supportive. In the office, they mentor them, but then even outside the office, we'll have business partners that support our students and mentor them even after graduation. So they stay up. Many of them stay in touch with our students.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Ryan, this question is for you. Explain your reopening plan and model for this school year and the whole process of developing it.
Yeah, so it's been quite a summer trying to develop that. We at Cristo Rey Columbus, our highest priorities are to keep our students safe and to provide a high quality education. And so we kept those things. Those were things we are not willing to compromise. And so as we were developing the plan, we knew we needed something that would be flexible and manageable without compromising the safety and education of our students. So we began starting with the 3 modes, red, yellow, and green, which most schools by now have a version of that. So full virtual is red, yellow mode is a hybrid, and then green is when everybody's in the building. We put most of our time into red mode and yellow mode in the preparation. And then so we started with that, and then we developed a cohort system, because one of the aspects that we recognize this year is that we're going to need to be able to change from one mode to another pretty smoothly, because we don't know what to expect this year. And so that's something in our discussions and conversations, thinking we need to develop a system so that we can go from red to yellow or yellow to red in a way that really doesn't disrupt too much of our students' learning. We don't want to spend a lot of time in those transitions. And so as we were thinking through that, that's what led us to developing cohorts for our students. And what a cohort is, usually for high school students, they have their first period class, and then in between classes, they're like all over the building. And then they end up in their second period class with a completely different group of students. Okay. This year, each class is divided into 4 or 5 cohorts, and that's about 28 students each. and they follow the same schedule together throughout the day. So the same students have first period, same students have second period. And that enables so many things. One is it helps that smooth transition from red to yellow mode. It does in red mode. We've noticed we started virtually. It creates a community of learners where they can really learn to lean on each other because they have the same classes with the same teachers. They've heard the same things. And so if there's a student who for some reason is missing a link to a class, the other students have experienced that same thing that they can contact, in addition to being able to contact their teachers.
Yeah.
So that's been great. Something else that the cohorts that we love that it can do is when we're in yellow mode, our teachers are going to be moving from class to class. The students are going to be staying in the same room. And so that 5 minutes of high school, like the in between classes, high school chaos, that 5 minutes of kids everywhere, we were just, as we were talking about the year and thinking in terms of COVID and contact tracing and things like that, just that is a period of time we really want to avoid. And so by doing cohorts, the students will stay in the same classroom with the same, it'll end up being about 14 students because we'll have half the students come from each cohort a day. And then the teachers will rotate from class to class. They will leave their classes for like specials. It's almost like an elementary school. They'll leave their room for art and PE and music, but they'll stay together with the same students in their assigned seats throughout the day.
Wow, that's a really good plan.
Thanks.
Ryan, the follow-up question, what have you guys done to prepare your faculty and staff for this school year? So you talked a little bit about the students and how you guys are combining them and transitioning from like red to yellow. What have you, how have you prepared faculty and staff?
We've spent the entire month of August in preparation for school opening this year. We began just learning about this system and this new way of our school operating because so many of the things that we're used to are different. And then we also began with a lot of technology training, just really helping our teachers feel comfortable and giving them opportunity to feel comfortable with the virtual platform, which will come in handy in red mode and in yellow mode because just the logistics of running a classroom with social distancing, we're going to have to rely more on our technology this year. And so, we also really provided opportunities for teachers to practice these things. That was something that was, as we were thinking about the preparation, really giving time and space to practice, because that's key for learning is to practice. And so our teachers met in their departments and they practiced running the technology with each other. They got student devices. Our students have Chromebooks, so they had Chromebooks so they could see from the screen, okay, this is what the students see when I do this. And they would practice just little lessons and play around with the technology and troubleshoot together. They also practiced in yellow mode once the cohort rooms were set up, sitting in the desks that were socially distanced and practice teaching to each other, really just to get that feel, because the way, when you're teaching in a classroom, when you have 14 students that are all spread apart, that's just so different than what we're used to.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was in a room and the teachers were great because they were talking about what would I usually do. We usually do group work. That happens a lot in our instruction, encouraging our students to work collaboratively together. And they were like, could that even work here? Because they're 6 feet apart. Is that even an option? Or what are some creative options for that? And they were like, well, let's try it out. So you three, you talk over here, you three, you talk over there. And let's see, with our masks on, is this even manageable? And it turns out that it is. Like, we didn't move our desks, we stayed socially distanced, but we were able to talk that distance. And with that many people in the room, it worked out pretty well. So it's been great to see. Our teachers have done such a good job at finding creative ways to maintain the high quality education and the strategies that we've always had. But then at the same time, they're coming up with new ways to overcome some of the barriers. So some teachers will choose to do group work virtually within the same cohort using headphones or something like that, or some kind of virtual connection. And that's fine too. So they've been doing a great job.
That's really cool. There's a lot, people don't really think about the human error of things. So like, it's just amazing that you guys like thought out every detail of like teaching from like 6 feet apart and like practicing that. And I just think that that's really awesome that you guys have done that. Patrick, Ryan talked a little bit about the structure of like the different cohorts and colors of different classrooms. What safety measures will you have in place when your students return to the building?
Yeah, so we knew right off the bat that if we were going to make this work and keep everyone safe, masks were going to be a non-negotiable, and distancing of 6 feet in the classroom was going to be a non-negotiable. So we put that in place really early, but that required a lot of planning in terms of, do we even have room in our classrooms to have the right number of desks 6 feet apart? And so we went through that process, and we've communicated that. We're really excited to be able to offer a safe learning environment for our students to come back to, for both our students and our staff. We have PPE for our school nurse and the other folks who are participating in our health screening process. And that process is something that we decided to do as a school, to have a screening process outside of what happens at home. And so we are asking our families and the students, as kind of a first line of defense, to check temperature and monitor symptoms and things like that before they come to school. And then when students arrive to school, before they're even allowed in the building, they go through the same screening process with us as a staff. And so we are doing that to maintain safety for all of our students and to make sure that learning can still occur. We have installed touchless water fountains to kind of get around that fear of contamination that way. And also have an updated HVAC system to help combat any airborne virus. So
Wow.
yes, so that's been really cool.
That's really awesome, you guys. That's really, really great to hear. Patrick, has your school community been supportive as you guys have planned and communicated each aspect of reopening?
Definitely. Our school community has been really supportive, even just thinking about, as Ryan mentioned, all the work the teachers have been doing in the last few weeks, getting things ready for the students to come back, really owning their space, getting classrooms ready, and working together on best practices for teaching in the building. It's been really great to see that from our teachers and our staff. Our students have been really engaged in our virtual learning so far, in getting ready for coming to school, and it's been great to see their level of participation and attendance in our virtual offerings. But then we've also seen them here on campus earlier in the summer to get their Chromebooks, and hearing from them how excited they were to come back to school, reconnect with their friends and their teachers. That was been really encouraging. We've also had a few virtual community sessions for us to kind of communicate with our parents and our students about the decisions that we're making, and talking about red versus yellow mode and what our expectations are and things like that. And they've been able to ask questions, and we answer those questions kind of in the moment. During one of the sessions, a parent asked, how can we help you? And that was really helped us solidify the fact that our parents were being supportive of us, considering that they trust us to educate and keep their child safe.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And then we also, just even the greater Columbus area, we're part of the Discovery District here in Old Town East, and we have some our Discovery District partners that help us out. They've been super supportive of us coming back to school. The library next door has been really responsive to the things that we've been asking about. And just our business partners, have been a tremendous, source of hope and encouragement for us too, because they've been so supportive of our program all these years. But then also this year, knowing that things have to be a little bit different, they've been really supportive of that. So it's been really great to see.
Yeah, definitely. That's great to hear that. You would think at first that there was like a big controversy about masks, no masks, like when no one knew what was going on. But to hear that, even parents are kind of understanding the situation, and everything that you guys have done to get that appreciation, I'm sure is really a good feeling. For Ryan and Patrick, if you guys can answer this question, what challenges and opportunities have you discovered while leading the school through this time?
When I think of challenges, I think in one way they can be summed up this way: the most simple things have become incredibly complex. So just thinking about lunch and breakfast, like going to the cafeteria for lunch has been like a part of my life since like kindergarten. So, and everybody else too, and thinking like that can't look the same way anymore. Even getting technology to our students. And so with that, so those have definitely been challenges. It's worked out, but everything just takes a lot more thought and work. Also just the level of anxiety. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and it's understandable, and people everyone's coming from such a variety of different places, and just recognizing that this is a challenging time. We're working together, we're pulling through, but it's a challenging time for everybody right now. So we want to make sure we're sensitive to that, and definitely keeping that in mind for our community as well. In terms of opportunities, Patrick and I talked about this when we started together this summer it would have been late June. But we were just talking about this year. And one of the things we both said is we do not want this to be a year of us just like putting our head down and just like muddling through. Like, we know like there is an aspect of that this year because we're in a pandemic and there's like a lot of challenges. Like in one sense, of course, that's what's happening. But in another sense, there are so many opportunities for growth, and we want to grow this year. We provide such high quality education for our students. We want to continue to do that, and we want to get better at that. And we've seen that from our teachers, like finding creative ways to squeeze every minute out of the time they have with the students. It's been amazing. Our upperclassmen, every year we have upperclassmen, a group of them whose job is to welcome in our freshmen and their mentors to our freshmen to come into our community, and watching them find creative ways to still do that. So they came into our building. Freshman orientation was virtual, but the small groups of the upperclassmen came in and gave our freshmen a virtual tour of the building just so they could get a feel for what does it feel like to be a Cristo Rey Cougar, and you're part of our family now. And so just seeing that intentionality, really all groups of people have gone above and beyond. Our students, our families, our teachers, our counselors, our work study coordinators, the people who work in our building who work with our business partners are doing amazing things. So we're just really, that teamwork and really that community that's growing through this challenge is real, and it's really happening. We're thankful for that.
That response gave me chills. That's really cool. Patrick, did you have any last thoughts?
We're a Catholic school. We believe really strongly in Catholic social teaching, and we understand how important it is to provide an equitable education for all of our students, and that's our mission. And so, we knew that this was going to be a challenging year, but like Ryan said, we don't want to use it as an excuse to not provide, the best for what our students need. So we're gonna keep going strong, and we're looking forward to starting strong here in the building next week.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. You guys are both really inspiring and so positive.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Josie Smith. Thanks for watching City Chat on CTV.